Good morning, dear. How are you? Welcome to a new week, and I'm coming to you live from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria Television, ACNNTV, here in the capital city of Abuja. Remember, this is newspaper review, and in the dailies today, expect news about the coronavirus. Also, we have political updates, business updates, and sports updates. I am Phoebe Agerenhue. Let's get right into the newspapers, starting with the Vanguard newspaper. The leading story is on coronavirus. FCT gets 39 cases, 4 tests positive. Oyo gets first positive case. Lagos shuts down civil service for 14 days. Confirmed cases in Nigeria now 30. I had vision of forced holiday. That is coming from Adeboye. See page 5 for details. Bankers Committee direct oil firms to sell forex only to CBN. Page 8. Kwara government directs civil servants to work from home. Page 13. MTN orders staff to work from home. Page 8. And you have this picture, coronavirus. Churches hold service in Abuja. Worshippers returning home after the church service at Living Faith Church, Kubwa, Abuja, yesterday. And the second picture, worshippers observing the hand wash rule as they arrived for service at the Mountain of Fire and Miracles Annex Utako, Abuja, yesterday. These are the pictures now. FIRS collects 338 billion naira in January. Why we missed targets? FIRS, page 39. COVID-19. Limit number of persons admitted into courts. NBA tax state judiciary. Page 8. Okay, we have the list of the COVID-19 spread latest. Country, China. Cases, 81,054. Deaths, 3,261. Italy, 59,138 cases, 5,478 deaths. USA, 38,167 cases, 396 deaths. Spain, 28,603 cases, 1,756 deaths. Germany, 24,806 cases, 93 deaths. Iran, 21,638 cases, 1,685 deaths. France, 14,459 cases, 562 deaths. South Korea, 8,897 cases, 104 deaths. Switzerland, 7,474 cases, 98 deaths. UK, 5,683 cases, 281 deaths. Netherlands, 4,204 cases, 179 deaths. Egypt, 294 cases, 10 deaths. Algeria, 201 cases, 17 deaths. South Africa, 200 cases, 0 deaths. And Nigeria, 30 cases, 0 deaths. Above the masthead now. Insurance premium income outpaces claims growth rates. Abacha wanted us to punish Abiola, deny him bail. Ex-Supreme Court Justice Ogebe reveals. Page 39. And on that same page, Boa Group acquires majority interest in construction mining giant PW Nigeria Limited. Zamfara. APC wants PDP against intimidating Supreme Court. Page 13. And lastly, from the Vanguard newspaper on page 7, EFCC to arraign Oyo Ita, 8 others for alleged fraud. The Guardian newspaper is next. And the front page stories, I'll start with page 24, that's just below the masthead. APCON directs BDCs to comply with 380 per dollar official rate. Refinery sustain losses as NNPC makes 5.28 billion naira, page 3. Armed men kill one farmer, abduct 3 women with kids in Benue, page 7. Police raid churches in Lagos and Ogun, page 12. How political parties violated rule on election expenses by INEC. Stakeholders reveal loopholes exploited by politicians. This story begins on the front page and continues on page 8. Let's look at the pictures now. The first picture is empty pews as participants of St. Jude Catholic Church, Oshodi, stayed off Sunday Mass to prevent the spread of coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic in Lagos yesterday. And the second picture, operatives of Lagos Rapid Response Squad RRS stopping a service at God's Chamber Church, Lagos, yesterday. The leading story now, COVID-19 cases rise to 30, spreads to 4 states including FCT. The kickers, IGP orders nationwide enforcement of social restriction. Airspace shutdown cost 4,000 jobs. 80 billion naira revenue. Pharmacists warn against indiscriminate use of chloroquine. PDP rights body demand transparency on funds. The story begins on the front page and continues on page 8. And that's the last story from the Vanguard newspaper. Let's look at the front page of this day newspaper. The leading story, Atiku's son tests positive as COVID-19 cases escalate to 30. Lagos now has 22, FCT 4, Ogun 2, Ekiti 1, and Oyo 1. Churches defy mass gathering restriction, hold services. Sanwo-Olu directs civil servants to stay at home for 14 days. CJN asks the judicial officers to comply with social distancing. IG directs AIGs, CPs to enforce restriction orders. Says citizens should stay away from police stations. Global death toll rises to 13,799. Confirmed cases hit 322,278 in 189 countries. 100 die in 24 hours in US. UK's body count now 244. German Chancellor Merkel quarantined. US senators seek medical advice after colleague test positive. The story begins on the front page and continues on page 17. We have this tweet tagged, "Pray for my son." Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's tweet announcing his son's COVID-19 status yesterday. He says, "My son has tested positive to coronavirus. At NCDC governor has been duly informed, and he has been moved to Gwagwalada Specialist Teaching Hospital in Abuja for treatment and management. I will appreciate it if you have him in your prayers. Stay safe. Coronavirus is real. AA." That is Atiku Abubakar. Federal government rejects ASU's demand for time to develop IPPIS alternative. Page 16. All right. The story, Nigeria's COVID-19, state of the states, patients and how they got it. Page 17. Now above the masthead, analysts anticipate interest rate cut as MPC meets today. Opportunity widens for investors as stock prices decline 40%. The story begins on the front page and continues on page 17. Finally, NNPC records 5.28 billion naira trading surplus. Page 10. New Telegraph newspaper is next. Again, the leading story is on coronavirus. It says Lagos orders civil servants to stay at home for 14 days. Nigerians confirmed cases rise to 30 with 8 new patients. Adeboye, what God told me about COVID-19 lockdown. Churches comply with government directives and shut down. Pages 4, 6, and 8. All right, you have coronavirus cases in Nigeria and COVID-19 global cases as earlier seen in the Vanguard and This Day newspapers. The picture now. Vice Chairman Governors Forum, Governor Tambuwa, and Chairman Governors Forum during a meeting on coronavirus and Nigeria economy in Abuja. The bottom strip story. I won't keep quiet in the face of impunity, or Obasanjo narrates how Abacha plotted to poison him in prison. Pages 6 and 11. Protein intake could reduce age-related muscle loss. Page 31. Above the leading story now. MTN to close stores as staff begin work from home. Page 10. Still on coronavirus, foreign trips ban may save Nigeria over 5 billion naira. Page 10. Rivers, Catholic priest collapses, dies during mass. Page 8. BUA acquires majority stocks in construction firm. Page 30. And above the masthead now, FIRS collected 338.1 billion naira tax in January. Mixed 620.2 billion naira target for the month. 280 billion naira realized from Lagos. The story begins on the front page and continues on page 10. Up next is Nigerian Tribune. Again, we are looking at the stories on the front page. I'll start this time with the story just above the masthead. 36 states, FCT generated 2.57 trillion naira net revenue in 2018. That is coming from FRC. Find the details on page 10. And on page 20, Zamfara. PDP, APC tango over Supreme Court judgment review. The leading story now, COVID-19. Lagos, Kwara order workers to work from home. Cases now 30 in Nigeria. Police chase worshippers out of churches. Many other churches conduct online services. IGP warns against unnecessary arrest and detention of suspects. Pages 2, 3, 4, and 9. Alright, be transparent with 1.3 trillion naira coronavirus intervention fund, PDP tells federal government. Page 9. Army kills 26 bandits, rescues 7 kidnapped victims in Zamfara. Page 6. Gunmen abduct 5 timber merchants, 2 footballers in Ondo. Ondo, I beg your pardon. Page 32. And finally, alleged 3 billion naira graft. EFCC to arraign ex-head of service or your eater, 8 others today. Page 30. That's all from the Nigerian Tribune. Moving on, Leadership newspaper is next. The story just below the masthead, NNPC generates 2.639 trillion naira from sales of petrol in 1 year. So it begins on the front page and continues on page 4. APC. Controversy as Nebana seizes Onilu's office. Find that story on page 2. Atiku Abubakar's son tests positive for coronavirus. That's the leading story on page 4. And the kickers. Virus threatens tax revenue as cases rise to 31. Lagos government asks workers to work from home. CUPP demands mandatory test for all Nigerians. All right. IGP direct enforcement of restriction order. Merkel in self-isolation. U.S. Senator test positive. Singapore closes borders. We have a bit of a different story now as the Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, Mido and his wife during his birthday celebration at the presidential villa in Abuja recently. 3 billion to arraign all your eater, 8 others Arrest Odili's ex-ADC. The story begins on the front page and continues on page 12. Before we go on break, let's check the bottom strip stories. Page 16. Emulate Ajede's agro-industrialization model, senators tell federal government and states. Emulate Ajede's agro-industrialization model, senators tell federal government and states. Page 16. Bugaje says Amajiri system difficult to eliminate. Found out why on page 15. Lagos sees 32 illegal pharmacies and patent medicine stores. Page 14. And lastly, Rangers player Ifeanyi George dies in auto crash. We'll find out more of the story when we take the Vanguard Sports. Page 46. Let's pause here for a while and go for a short break. When we return, business and sports stories will be next. Please stay with us.
Not that I mean to undermine polytechnics, they do a good job, but university education is actually more valuable.
What the teacher is supposed to do is to identify those people that are very, very slow in learning.
When you discover your child is not performing well in a particular subject, encourage the child and find out ways to assist the child.
I don't give respect to the school which you graduated from. What I see in you and I expect is what you can offer. And this is what polytechnic education equipped the graduate with.
There's no longer white-collar jobs. They are nowhere to be found. The population is increasing on a daily basis and the government cannot provide all the needed jobs for the boarding youths.
It's the doctor that the patient has to get a prescription for. The reason is that when the patient comes, the patient gets a card and is directed to see the physician.
Thank you for staying tuned. Let's go straight to the Business Day newspaper for business updates, and after that, we'll take the sports stories. The Business Day leading story: crisis looms as federal government bans cargo flights amid shortage of masks and ventilators. The big story begins on the front page and continues on page 42. Beside the story, federal government states are biggest winners in Nigeria's new forex reforms. Governors want new rates for FASC allocations. CBN to take hit on Naira forwards. The story begins on the front page and continues on page 42. Alright, the final story on Business Day is the inside story on page 2. Churches record low turnout. Nigeria stock up as COVID-19 cases hit 30. Viewers, and now to sports. The sports stories, you can find them on pages 45 and 46 of the Vanguard newspaper. I'll start with the stories on page 45. Ronaldinho celebrates 40th birthday in jail. Happy birthday, Ronaldinho. Spain to extend state of alarm for another 15 days. EPL may resume June 1 behind closed doors. Global Athletes Group calls for postponement of Olympics. Enyimba midfielder Ojo Diamade kidnapped. Baka to move for Laporte. We are the ones spreading the virus. Drogba. Chelsea legend Didier Drogba has pleaded with people to do all they can to stop the spread of coronavirus. And that's all from page 45. Let's look at the stories on page 46 now. It starts with a sad one. LMC expresses shock at George's death. Rangers striker Ifeanyi George killed in car crash. Also in the car was Emmanuel Ogbu, a Rangers International FC feeder team player. Just yesterday morning, while traveling to Lagos on the Benin Agbo Road. May their gentle souls rest in perfect peace. Amen. Heartland FC commiserates with Rangers over Ifeanyi's death. Mikel, it's amazing to be home. COVID-19 indeed sends message to Super Eagles fans. Edo 2020 NOC hails President Buhari, that's the Nigeria Olympic Committee. And lastly, Diarrhea Mokachi hailed 9080 Green Eagles. There you have some pictures of the Green Eagles. And that's all from the Vanguard Sports. We've come to the end of the program for today. Just to let you know that this is the very time to sit in the place of prayer and seek the face of God. Remember Paul's encouragement in his letter to the Philippians that we have the strength to face all conditions by the power of Christ that he has given unto us. So I admonish you today to keep the faith alive. Until we come your way again on Wednesday, God bless you. God bless the Church of God. And God bless the nations. Bye-bye.
Why do we fall ill? Is it possible to stay with